Okay, so I want to talk about another thing, another waste, and it's really not related to you know how we the loss that we use from energy indirectly like this of just using it to move your cars around, um, but and that is designed obsolescence. Now, when I was in college in business school, they actually taught us about the thing called designed obsolescence. And they didn't really say it was a good thing to do. I don't remember there any moral discussions about it, although I think it's kind of crappy. But the design is to make sure that it fails so that you can sell them another one. And because, you sell them something that lasts forever. Well, they used to have, and older people will remember this, and the young kids may even be aware of it. But Maytag Corporation used to be very well known for their products and lasting a long time. And they had a commercial, these two guys, and chubby one thin one. I think they were chubby and thin, but I can't remember for certain. And they were just sitting at the repair shop being bored as heck because they got nothing to do because all their machines are so good they never fail. Hardly ever, once in a blue moon. So they made a big thing out of that in a video. Everybody would remember that video that saw that on a TV show or commercial when I was a kid. And so that was the big deal that they called them major appliances because they last a long time. Now you get a washing machine, a dryer, or a refrigerator, and those things don't last. Everything's in electronic and crap, things breaking all the time, and now you've got to spend tons of money to fix it. Nobody knows how to fix anything themselves. And so it's really bad, sad. We have a refrigerator that was, when did we get that thing? It's over 30 years old. And it runs just like it did the day it was new. The gasket around the door is not worn out. The plastics that we have today are made really out of crap. Very bad. There's example after example, and you can go to your grandparents or people that have been around a while to know, yeah, the plastics have really gone bad, especially when they come out of China. The same thing for steel. The other day, I had to buy a little, I was going to just fix a little thing on a metal screw that somebody screwed it down wrong. So I'm going, okay. And I had bought a tap and die set. Now, for those who don't know what a tap and die set is, it's a little set that you can drill a hole in a piece of metal or wood or something. And then you take that's what you do with a drill. And then you take a tap, which is the right size and that you need for whatever size of bolt it is. And you just cut new threads in the metal. And that's how you make the threads in there. And then you can put your screw in. Well, this one was already there. The threads were there. They were kind of boogered up. I just wanted to straighten them out. And I took this little tap, which is just a little thing about that long, and it's just got little opposite threads like a screw is, except for there's a gap in between. As you cut the metal, it'll go into the little side holes. And I'm using that thing. And I was helping a friend with his machine. And I'm trying to get it, and it barely got the job done. But when I pulled the tap out, the tap was just destroyed. The taps are supposed to be a lot stronger metal than the things that you're trying to tap. It has to be stronger, otherwise it can't cut the steel you're trying to make the little threads in. It was unreal. I mean, a tap was that weak it couldn't even take very non-substantial steel and make a small. I mean, the steel wasn't even maybe 1/16 of an inch, maybe an eighth. I don't even think it was an eighth though. It's probably about 1/16 or 3/32 or something of an inch thick. And it destroyed that tap. It was no good anymore. So I'm basically going to pitch the whole thing. So now I've got a box, a bunch of tools in it, but it's just going to go in the trash because there's no use. They made it so shitty. Excuse my language. Although they deserve it because they're making crappy stuff, and you have to buy everything. We don't pass things down to our kids anymore. If somebody makes something, oh well, it's not. A hammer might be able to be passed down, but then the handles break because they're plastic. Or they're not wood, and you can't go down to the store and buy another replacement handle and put it on the hammer and keep going, which is what all the tools when I was growing up, the garden tools and everything, you could go buy a handle for your hoe or your rake or whatever, and you could just replace it. And you can still do some of that. But for the most part, they're selling you plastic stuff that are stronger in a lot of cases. But then if it breaks, it's trash. And now you're throwing stuff in the trash. So, designed obsolescence. So I'm gonna have some separate little clip videos that I'm gonna put in here, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it on a video to show you guys. But these things. I've got some old tools that I inherited that were made and back in the 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s. Now, one of them you'll see, it's an air compressor. It was built in 1923. It has an electric motor that's never been messed with, and it still works today. And I mean, old Uncle Bruce had that thing, and he used that thing. He got it used. It was damn near wore out when he got it. And it is kind of worn out. What's worn out is inside the cylinder when you're pumping the air, the rings are worn bad. So it takes a long time to pump the air up. If I get those fixed, then it wouldn't, but I don't want to tear it apart because I'm not an expert at repairing that. I probably could, but considering the fact that it's so old, I don't want to mess it up so it doesn't work anymore. I want to take the chance because primarily I'm not worried about it not working as more as I am is about, well, I am not working, but I don't know if I can get the rings the right size. I probably can, but I don't want to take a chance. Anyway, I got a drill press that he bought. It was 1941. And it still works, and I still use it occasionally. And we got a clock that is a neon clock. And it has they used to sell these things back and have them at shops and stations and things. You can buy them antiques and even reproductions. They're neon lights. They have a neon light bulb in the back and then a big hands on it and a dome kind of a lens on the front of it, made of plastic, good plastic. I mean, these things is, 50, 60 years old. It's not brittle. It's not falling apart. It's not, it's working really good. And it's not faded and all that kind of stuff. You can see through it fine. You'll see it on the video. And what's the other thing that I'm going to put on there? Oh, yeah, I'm talking about a little lights, these lights, the real bright halogen lights people get for work stuff they used to. Now they're LEDs, which I don't like, but they're LEDs. I'm afraid the LED is probably bad for your health. It does concern me because I know that LEDs blink really fast, whereas a regular light bulb, incandescent light bulb is steady power. It's analog, basically, is what it is, where the LEDs are digital. They blink really fast. And there's quite a few people that have problems with their eyes and stuff using LED lights. Let's see. Those are the four things I think that I pull up. But I'll tell you another thing. Let me see here. Designed obsolescence because, yep. Oh, I'd written down this fireplace grates. How many times I bought a fireplace grate, and that fireplace grate lasts about 3 or 4 years, and then it just starts falling apart. So I don't even remember where I bought these fireplace plates, but I went and bought another one. And I bought a spare, just so I had it, and because they were failing so fast. Well, I put the thing in my fireplace, and I use the fireplace every year, and those things are, I don't know, let's see, 17 years old, and just still perfect. Not wearing out at all. But boy, when I go down to Lowe's and buy something that they're selling, and you get it home and you use it a few times and it just starts rusting and falling apart. So they can make steel that's not stainless steel. It doesn't rust all the time and rust to nothing like that stuff does. And so anyway, but here's another little thing. This little knife right here. This is a Kershaw knife. I think it's chive is what they call it. And it's a 1800. Now I really love this little knife. It's awesome. It's a great knife made of good materials. It's got a little solid plastic inside here. It's stainless steel throughout. And inside there's a spring though that is not stainless steel. So you need to take this apart every once in a while. When I bought this, you got a little tool, a little wrench. It's got little Torx heads, so little star kind of screws. And you can take them out of there and you can clean it up and put it back together again. Well, they don't sell it like that anymore. Of course, they dropped the price too. Now, the interesting part about this knife, besides it's in all respects great, you flip this little switch right here like this. You just push this over and you close it. And then you're supposed to have a little slider right there. You slide that little side and it puts a little notch in front of that blade so that doesn't happen in your pocket. Well, of course, what do you think it's made out of? Plastic. So it don't take long before that little piece ain't working anymore. Now you're getting stabbed in your pocket. That's not a good thing. They could make that thing at virtually no cost out of steel, the same metal that they make this out of, and it would last maybe a lifetime, a long time. But nope, got to make it fail. Laser printers, laser printers, and not laser printers, but inkjet printers. They almost throw away, give you the darn inkjet printer. They don't care about the printer. They're going to hook you on those ink cartridges. That's what they're doing there. I think everybody knows that. And the fact is, there's only like 2 or 3 printer companies anymore. Right? Canon, let's see, Epson, and HP. They're the main ones that's left. There really isn't hardly anybody else. Let's see. So anyway, you're going to see the videos. I'll show them. I may intersect them here, but I'll put them here after this. And then I'll do another video here before too long. So thank you, and I appreciate your time watching. And I know these things take a long time because I'm pretty wordy. So anyway, hope y'all have a great day. Well, I hope you like those videos that I just showed you. And anyway, back to y'all have a good day and have a great week and all that good stuff. And we're going to talk again soon. And I'm not going to take so long for next time. Thanks a lot. Okay, so this is a 1923 Brunner air compressor. And it's been it's been around pretty much my whole life. I've been around this machine. So let me show you something. It still works. It's 101 years old and it still works. Now here's a 1941 drill press. Motor still works. Machine still drills. Everything works. It is made by Craftsman. It was made in 1941. Still drills today. So this is another example of designed obsolescence. This little heater here is running off the house natural gas. Working still. This is at least, I would say, 150 years old. Maybe 140 or 30 or something like that. A little very old. And it was made because it was given to me from my grandparents' house, and so my understanding came down from my grandmother, but I'm not certain. But this thing is really, really old. Now watch this. It's not having repairs or anything. It's been just running like this my entire life that I've had it, which is I probably had it 30 years. So let's go down here and just turn this switch, this valve. Now look at that. It's going out completely. There we go. No more gas. It's all off. Can you imagine that valve is that old and it can cut off natural gas that good, that long? So this is an old Westinghouse fan. Made, I don't know, probably 30s and 40s, something like that. Still runs. 1930s, 1940s. You're talking about 80, 90-year-old fan. Still works. But here's another example of things that used to work and still work. Technology and obsolescence. To see the light is still on. This is the original light. This clock is still working. It hung outside for decades, or a decade or more, a long time. And I've had it hanging in my garage for probably, I would say, around 20 years. Still running. Made in the USA. Okay, so we're still talking about comparing the old things to new things to do the same job and designed obsolescence. So here's another example. So this is a whisker. Everybody knows that's a whisker, right? And this you buy in the store now. These are, I think it says Echo on it, and it's it's got a plastic handle. And this plastic handle is plastic deteriorating. It's kind of gooey and sticky. You know, remember the clock the plastic on it was probably made in the 50s. I'm thinking it was probably a 50s time frame. And you can still find some of those clocks. That plastic that was on the cover of that 1950s clock is not deteriorated to this day. You know, a good 75 years later. This is another one, another whisk. This whisk is probably made in, I would say it was probably made in the, knowing where it came from, in the 40s, 50s, something like that. It's stainless steel. It doesn't rust. A lot of stainless steel today, it actually rusts, especially in silverware. This is a wooden handle. This thing has lasted all that time. The handle's not deteriorating. You know, if it did, I could make a new handle and put it back on here. I'm gonna have to bend this, you know, but nevertheless, this is that old and it's still working, and it, you know, it can literally be passed down to the next generation. Anyway, there you go. There's another one.